Dun Shows World.
Welcome to Shows World Gamers. Josh here, and as this week draws to a close, I wanted to take a moment to look at this week's biggest news stories, gaming announcements, and a few of this week's video game releases. If this is your first time on the channel, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. Alright gamers, let's kick off this week in review with a few news stories. Now the huge San Diego Comic-Con convention kicked off early last weekend, giving us a new trailer for Spider-Man 2 and our first good look at Venom in the game. We also got a look at new footage for games like Sandland, Star Wars Outlaws, and Mortal Kombat 1. We also got a look at upcoming DLC for High on Life and Street Fighter 6. Also some really cool toys and figures. They even had the vehicles from the upcoming live-action Peacock Twisted Metal series and a Sonic the Hedgehog fast food restaurant. Now, in some speculative news coming from Insomniac Games, it appears we have some info that they are beginning work on another AAA project now that Spider-Man 2 is just about to its finish line and Wolverine is deep into development. This is believed to be connected to a previous job posting for a multiplayer game. The question becomes, is this Marvel related, a new IP, or something else altogether? Now, in some disappointing news that was discovered this week via a post on Twitter, it was found out that if you do not log into your Ubisoft Connect account periodically, it will be suspended, and if it still remains dormant after a while, Ubisoft will actually completely delete the account altogether, making it unrecoverable. This caused a huge stir this week as PC gamers who made digital purchases such as games, DLC, cosmetics, or basically anything else attached to said account believed those purchases would be lost forever. Ubisoft came out in a press release explaining accounts with digital libraries connected to them are not eligible to be deleted, so any digital purchases are completely safe. That being said, personally, it drives me nuts when I have to sign into a special account to play certain games to start with, and we are seeing this more and more with more companies. Now, Armored Core 6, Fires of Rubicon was announced back at the Game Awards, and this week we got a ton of new info about the game, including a lot of gameplay footage, and this game just looks awesome. We even got footage of a huge boss fight against the Strider boss, thanks to footage from IGN. Also, in a leaked shot of the box art, it was revealed that the game will have an up to 6-player multiplayer mode, which we expect to be some really cool online deathmatch style gameplay modes, but I'm also hoping that we get some 2-player co-op also. Safe to say this game is looking to be another huge hit coming from Software, following up last year's Game of the Year, Elden Ring. Next up, let's take a look at a few gaming announcements. Now, Skull Island, Rise of Kong had an official announcement trailer drop just moments after we finished last week's Rinkin review. The game is an action-adventure game where you play as the 8th wonder of the world himself, King Kong, in a quest to avenge the death of his parents at the hands of the ultimate alpha predator, the Saurian Terror Gah. The game is coming later this year to the Nintendo Switch, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, as well as Xbox Series systems. Now, our next announcement comes from PlayStation as they unveiled a cool looking Spider-Man 2 limited edition PlayStation 5 bundle and DualSense controller, both with what looks like a red Spidey color with the white Spider-Man logo, although both the PlayStation 5 and DualSense are predominantly black as they are being engulfed in this symbiote. The special edition console will release on September 1st. The controller and the console covers will also both be available for sale separately also. Now, Rin, The Last Child received an announcement trailer and release date. The game is a side-scrolling action-adventure Metroidvania-style game in a beautifully designed world. You will need to collect aspects and runes, craft spells, and confront powerful bosses as the fate of this world rests in your hands. The game is coming to the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, PC, the Xbox One, as well as Xbox Series systems on September 21st.
Now go
Now, we also received the announcement trailer for Fortnite's next big crossover, even though they are almost always leaked ahead of time, and that was Futurama. It was announced and went live and added basically everything any fan of Futurama could have hoped for, including the Planet Express ship glider, the Hypnotoid, Nibbler, even Zoidberg's lobster claws, and lots more. Fortnite continues to amaze me with how well they pull off these crossover events, and even as someone who has never really gotten into the game, I have jumped into a game here or there when the kids are playing it, but I still get excited to see what crossover is coming up next. Alright gamers, let's finish up with a few of this week's new game releases. Now, Remnant 2 is a third-person shooter, action-adventure, co-op multiplayer game that pits survivors of humanity against new deadly creatures and godlike bosses. The game has impressive visuals and multiple character classes with some really cool enemy designs. The game released this week on the PlayStation 5, PC, as well as Xbox Series systems. Now, Disney's Illusion Island is a hand-drawn adventure platformer that can be played solo or multiplayer with up to 4 players. The animation style is super impressive and in the style of the new Mickey Mouse shorts. You will be able to embark on the new adventures to find 3 magical books and save the mysterious island of Monoth exclusively on the Nintendo Switch. Now, Double Dragon Gaiden: Rise of the Dragons released this week on the Nintendo Switch, the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, the PC, the Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems. The game brings back the popular classic beat-em-up franchise, giving it that awesome new kind of pixel in HD look with bright, clean graphics and some modern updated gameplay and game modes. Now, The Expanse, a Telltale series, also released this week on the PlayStation 4, the PlayStation 5, PC, Xbox One, and Xbox Series systems. The game is a prequel to the television series The Expanse, and it will be an episodic adventure game set in the sci-fi universe of The Expanse. Now, High on Life, the crazy, over-the-top first-person shooter, was shadow dropped onto the PlayStation 4 and the PlayStation 5 during Comic-Con in a surprise last week. The game originally released last year on the Xbox, and I really enjoyed the game. It is definitely geared towards fans of Rick and Morty, as it comes from the creator of that show and shares that style of comedy. The gameplay is fun with a lot of exploration and some crazy weapons, but this is definitely not a title for the younger gamers. Alright gamers, that concludes this week in review for the week ending on July 28th. The week started with the kickoff of this year's San Diego International Comic-Con. Then, the PS5 Pro rumors continued to heat up as new claims that Sony is already doing demo events with studios and dev kits are expected by this November. And the week ended with us taking control of our favorite Disney characters in the new multiplayer platformer, Disney's Illusion Island. But let me know anything we may have missed in the comments, and thanks for joining us today, gamers. Shoach World, out.